Hello and welcome back to Substream News with me, Joseph, your presenter, and again, another episode of AI, tech, culture, innovation, and some curious other stories too. Now, before I jump in, remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's go. And first up, Elon Musk is back in the headlines. What a surprise. The guy lives in the headlines. Well, hardly surprising. He's the world's richest man and he seems to have his finger in a lot of pies. But this time he's not launching rockets and he's not building AI and he's not building electric cars. No, he's taking on the penny. Yes, the coin, the little copper coin. Now, I didn't know this. You might not have known this, but you may have seen this in the news. It takes almost 3 cents, it costs almost 3 cents to make 1 cent. It doesn't add up, right? The maths simply aren't there. So Doge, and I don't mean the cryptocurrency, but the Department of Government Efficiency, this initiative that Musk is leading, has said pretty much that they're going to do away with the penny. And just a few days ago, it's been confirmed by Trump, they will just get rid of it or just stop printing it. They won't remove it from circulation, but they'll remove it from printing. So, or minting rather. I have some info here. It says there are 240 billion pennies in circulation. The total weight of that is 600,000 tons of copper-plated disappointment. If you were to melt that down and to kind of put it into perspective, that would be about 3 aircraft carriers, like the big ships that carry planes. Like, that's a lot of pennies. And for most people, they're just sitting there in jars gathering dust or just, put in a drawer somewhere. They very rarely get spent because people don't use cash like they used to. They've moved on to cards. And so I actually completely agree with Trump and Musk on this one. The penny's redundant. Do we need it? Not really. Is it worth paying more than their value to make? Absolutely not. I have a quote here from Katie Weaver from the New York Times. She calls the penny, and I love this quote, I hope you do too, a symbol of national dysfunction. That's beautiful. But they're pretty useful for making wishes at fountains. And aside from that, I can't really think what else. So what do you think? Will you be sad to see the penny go out of production? Probably not. Surely you have more important things to care about, like our next story. Well, actually, you'll only care about this story if you're in Australia, because Australia has banned DeepSeek for government officials, and this is a move that doesn't come as a huge surprise. Chinese AI seems to be a threat to the West. The West is convinced that China wants to destroy us, to spy on us and take us down. And yeah, the new masterful AI bot or tool, whatever you want to call it, model from DeepSeek is incredibly powerful. I've played around with it. And so they're just basically concerned that it poses an unacceptable risk to national security in Australia. So what does this ban mean for Australian officials? Well, no government worker will be able to access DeepSeek or on any official device or system. But when they get home to their own private devices, of course they can. Who's going to stop or monitor them? I think what the Australian government is doing here is kind of suggesting that perhaps maybe China has a reputation for manufacturing viruses that affect the whole world. That's so far-fetched. I don't even want to go further down that route. I think we should move on. Okay, next story. I'm going to ask you to think of the answer in your head before I tell you. So, who is the most popular world leader right now? Think about that, because I had a different answer in mind to the actual result. So the list of approval ratings for early 2025 was released last week, and the top figure was 75%. Now, that's super impressive. I'll give you a clue. It's not Trump. He's at 52%. Just a side note, we don't usually do politics here at S&M. This is more of a human story, I would say. I'm going to give you second place. That's Claudia Sheinbaum. I hope I said that right. The president of Mexico. She's on 66%. At the bottom, very bottom, dead last, Petr Fiala from Czech Republic, he's on 16%, absolutely scraping by. I don't know how he's still in office. About 25% for Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. There have been so many protests and calls for him to resign, but he's hanging on by a thread too. So, number one, who is it? You tell me. You say it out loud? No. It's Modi from India. Yeah. 1.4 billion people and 75% of them give him the thumbs up. So, good job to Modi. Now, a side note, approval ratings haven't been taken yet for some countries. So this list is limited. I suspect strongly, based on story that we've reported here at Substream News in the past, that number one is actually Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador. Last year, he got 97% voting rate, and his approval rating at the last time they checked was 91%. New stats not yet available, so he's been omitted from this list, but I would back him to be number one. He turned El Salvador from arguably the most dangerous country in the world, one of the safest, and the safest country in Latin America, so kudos to him. Anyway, kudos to Modi, Sheinbaum, Trump, all of which have more than 50%, and so a majority approve of their work. Good job. Let's move on. Get away from politics. Lock up your wives, lock up your daughters, and lock up your eggs. America is in a bit of a crisis right now. Eggs are just going through the roof in terms of their pricing. They're so expensive that people even joking about driving to Canada to buy their eggs and drive back because they would actually save money if they bought in bulk. Now, I say lock up your eggs because they've now become a luxury item or a luxury commodity, if that's a paradox, I suppose, to the point where theft is not just on a micro scale of consumers stealing eggs, but on a massive scale. Somebody recently stole 100,000 eggs from Pete and Jerry's Organics in Pennsylvania. How much is that worth? $40,000. Gone faster than you can say scrambled. I just mean, come on. Eggs? Stealing eggs? Surely there's got to be better things to steal. I don't know. But actually, don't steal. In general, why am I suggesting better things to steal? Don't steal. Stealing's bad. And they haven't caught the suspects yet. I suspect that they're probably sitting somewhere eating a massive omelette. What else would they be doing? Like, they're not going to be sitting on the eggs. They've already hatched. So if they haven't resold them, they're probably eating them. I think if they want to find the criminals here, what they really need to do is chase the money, right? Chase the money, and I'm sure that it will all lead back to some shell company somewhere. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to. The pun was sitting right there. Anyway, let's move on. And on to this week's final note. Here's a lighter story to end with. I think this is a story of wonderful irony, and it comes from the world of AI and Anthropic, which I'm actually a really big fan of, because if you've used Claude, you'll know it's so much better than ChatGPT. It's probably not quite as good as DeepSeek or some of the other more powerful ones like Eva Quen from Alibaba. Back to the point is, Anthropic made the news this week for a wonderful, ironic reason, and it's because they're onboarding, they're growing, they're scaling their company, they've got funding, they've got money, they want to grow bigger teams and departments. But there's one stipulation on their onboarding or hiring process that really just stands out. It says, please do not use AI in your application. What? I mean, I would think they would want you to use AI and use it creatively, use it so well that's undetectable, use it so brilliantly that they think, wow, this guy really gets it. But to say don't use AI whatsoever kind of surprised me. And it surprised a lot of journalists, tech media, who picked up on this and had a good little laugh at Anthropic's expense. But I can understand. They want to see your human skills, not your prompting skills. So yeah, it's actually kind of surprising that Anthropic's hiring at all, because so many tech companies right now are downsizing and getting rid of people because AI can do their jobs. So to see any company hiring new positions in this economy, this market, or this juncture of AI is good news. But just remember, every AI tool you build, or they build, or an AI company builds, will, in the long run, remove workers from the workforce. It's a catch-22. The more they create jobs now, the more they remove them later. Just something to consider. Thank you for watching. I'm Joseph. This is Substream News. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay subscribed if you're not already. All of our stories are linked, as they should be, down in the video description. All good journalists should share their sources, so you can go and read more about any of these stories. If you didn't feel that I gave you the full story, which I didn't, I was trying to be quick. Anyway, let's move on. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.